from the nation's capital, Gaborone, this is BTV News at 3. I'm Modibile Samoka.
And I am Khomatsago Utukile. Let us start with the headlines. The 2024 academic calendar for public schools began this morning.
Residents of Matebeleng village urged to consider fish farming as a source of income.
While local motorbike rider Ross Branch continues to perform well at the ongoing Dakar Rally in Saudi Arabia.
Sentlamuyeng is interpreting in sign language. Thank you for joining us. Now in our first story, in Matebeleng, when addressing a Khotla meeting, the Member of Parliament for Mochudi East, Mabuse Pule, encouraged the residents of Matebeleng to start fish farming as a way to improve their standards of living. Khwarata Maranyane with the report.
The Member of Parliament for Mochudi East, Mr. Mabuse Pule, when addressing a Khotla meeting this morning, urged the residents to utilize local dams to venture into fish farming to earn a living.
Because the remote captain they are short. Regarding booster, Harakan, the captain, you are a matamu, I made it.
The residents of Matebeleng also had an opportunity to express their views.
Chuchuela 5,000. And Vatsala Mitimoti. And all of us have Vatsala Mitimoti. Yano, I just drop one, Kirigeta Bohanago, Maui, Pelagon Tigil, no go to be. I give Wagitala Tanga Senasi.
The Member of Parliament for Mochudi East responded to some of those comments.
Go deep because we do the meter outdated meters. Mirla hare ago ba what it is corporation. Bara bola lawa. Usimula gai pura ronga ho now. Karu kitenda radi ajuro bona. Hota be hudu so di meter zedi sha. Zedi video agote ke smart meters. Kana electronic meters. Zelo gore. Harina udira di poso zaore. Diorere udirise madia kana. Media kana mogosan naja.
After the Khotla meeting, the Member of Parliament Mabuse Pule also visited the family of former Councillor for Odi Matebeleng, Mr. Kilekwang Mangwa, to console them. Mr. Mangwa was the councillor in that ward for 15 years. Khwarata Moranyane, BTV News, Matebeleng.
The Member of Parliament for Matete Molapo-Abojang, Dr. Edwin Dikoloti, has commended and applauded the initiative by Kotsukela Farmers Association in Mosi for helping fellow farmers to own cattle. He says the Amotselo will encourage every Motswana to stand up against poverty and live a better, improved livelihood. Dr. Dikoloti noted this in Mosi Farms during the official handing over of 6 heavily pregnant heifers to one of the members. Gilbert Mugorosi with the details.
Members of the Kotsukela Farmers Association and the Musi explained that their zeal and commitment to see themselves growing in the farming sector has compelled them to form an association that advocates for improving and developing a farming model.
Creating generational wealth. How haba bua ba go tlhomakanyetsa gore ba tla ka bana ba bone ebile ga ba batle gore ka moso manga ba re go kolotwa manjang. Go supa gone gore ba batla gore go mo go neele tsanwe bana ba kgone go tsa go tswelele mme ke rata thata ka gore ba rotloetsana gore a ko morakeng e nne ko bana ba kaeletsang go ateng
ke le boga batsadi botlhe ka tiro e le e dirileng e tona ga e motlhogo le go itlhokomela ka moso e tla be le khumogela le ikopantshe le batlhano ra rokotsega maikutlo ka se lo se rile mme anong go raya go le nna ko ke leng teng ke a go rokotsega maikutlo ke gapegile maikutlo.
It was happiness and delight to the Pora family in receiving their heifers, explaining that they will help in boosting the health to help improve their lives.
A re ska ra inyatsa ke na le borre ba re tlhokomela dikgomo ka kwano sentse modula setulo a se bua a re hireng batho re ba rotloetse gore motho e re ha ke mo hirile e ska nna mothwana ke kgagana le mabaka gore re hira batho a re kgawa le bone ba re shauta a re ntse ke ba re go ga raphoga a sa ntuela ntimadijo ke kganyete mme gore re leke gore re rotloetse bana ba rona ke bana ba rona ba kope mo go rona le baagisanyi ba rona se re se irang
gongwe ga gongwe dilo tse di buiwa hela ko godimo rona re le batho ko tlase ko meding o ka re ga re tshware sentle gore ga teng tumelo ya rona ke gore nyeletso le huma e ka nyelela botoka e ka direga botoka ha e le rona batho ba nga le huma re ikanang ebile re simolola re re ke rona re ka le nyeletsang.
Member of Parliament further revealed he will soon launch and introduce dairy production breeding herds across the constituency.
Ha o ka bona moraka mongwe go sena kgomo e bidwang Edwin o tsura ke bereki ke batla go le direla AI ya sexed semen gore kgomo a teng ha e sena go nna ntse ke ba enela ba epa ha ke ba le bogo e tsala bona magadi jo ke batla gore e be le tswela le ntse le di ata le di atolosa ke batla gore ngwana mongwe le mongwe a nantsa re mama a Edwin ha gamiwe ka gore tsonetse go tswa go lwe batsedi ba rona ba ne ba netahatsa gore moraka mongwe le mongwe o nna le kgomo a mashi gore kgomo e ya mashi ke yone e leng gore ya atolosa lesaka.
The Kotsukela initiative has been commended to come in at an opportune time as it resonates well with the national transformative agenda on mindset change. Gilbert Mogorosi, BTV News, Musi.
The Form 1 students' orientation plays a crucial role in fostering a people-centered approach in education, emphasizing collaboration and participation in shaping the learner's educational and overall life journey. This was underscored by the Chief Education Officer of Silibepikwe Sub-Region, Mr. Tshwarelo Hosia, setting the tone as the 6 secondary schools in Silibepikwe convened Form 1 orientation meetings. Karabo Mulusi reports.
January 8, 2024 will be remembered with excitement by a cohort of over 1,400 students across secondary schools in Silibepikwe as an important day as they transit into a high level of education. The orientation exercise serves as a welcome note and platform for active engagements on the rules of the game and definition of expectations as well as responsibilities of learners, teachers and parents.
This orientation is a demonstration of the issue of collective ownership that we are trying to spread across to say government cannot become the sole proprietor of schools. These schools belong to the community, and therefore we are trying to bring about that people-centered approach so that our parents would know that this school is theirs.
For the schools in Silibepikwe, understanding and maximizing on the objectives of Form 1 orientation is crucial to maintain the brand of academic excellence built over the years.
Including indiscipline, student indiscipline, pregnancy, all those things. Me after this,
gongwe batsadi tota ga ba ise ba temo semong sa go tlhaloganya gore orientation ke
ganne re ka maintaina dipalo ra maintaina that excitement e re nang le yone ga re tlisa bana mo sekolong dio tse dingwe ka bontsi ne re ka kgona go di hema ka gore batsadi ba rona they would be in touch with matshelo a bana mo sekolong.
The benefits of the orientation exercise are measured beyond academic excellence and the students' lives in schools as the bigger picture mirrors a developmental investment for the country.
boitshwaro mo baneng kana bana ba gompieko ba setse ba tsene mo di-drugseng ba bula ba bangwe jaanong re tile gone mo seemong sa gore yaanong re te re ithutile thata re le batsadi gore re tshwaragane le matitšhara re tshwaragane le bana re nne ditsala tsa bana ba rona re nne ditsala le matitšhara gore ba te ba kgone ba re phuthologe gate bullying ntsi mo sekolong re searche dibeke tsa bone ga pele ga bata sekolo go itse gone gore ba te gore go ta go kgontsha bana ba bangwe.
Mo orientation re rutile gore it empowers us, it helps us to get out of problems, it makes us to win, it makes us to feel independent and be good in our studies, and it makes us to not do what is wrong. We should listen to our teachers.
This orientation exercise will be a point of reference for the learners, teachers and parents, at least for the next 3 years as they pursue their goals.
Now that the tone has been set, the students have been welcomed with a rigorous orientation exercise. The teaching and learning business is set to commence in earnest. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Silibi Pikwe.
Member of Parliament for Bonenting North, Ms. Anna Mokheti, says the opening of Morula Primary School in Block 6, Gaborone, is a welcome development as it will help relieve pressure on the schools in the area as the teacher-to-student ratio has been high. She made the remark at the school's reorientation for its first intake of students yesterday. Sharon Kubiadi and Solofelo Tombale report.
The construction of 2 new community primary schools of Morula Primary in Block 6 and Marula Mansi Primary in Phase 4 have been welcomed by various stakeholders that they will help to alleviate the growing demand for school placements in the city. Among those stakeholders are local authorities who have voiced a concern for the pressures on the schools in their areas.
Constituency ya Gaborone Bonington North tla bona gore re lebagane le khwatlho e tona ya dipalo mosuko o montsi mo di classroomong ke gore ha nka tsa sekole sa Mopane ba heta 1300 bo 1000 ha ke ya go itumeleng a small primary school with a small population Miss sekole sa teng se na le population ya between 1.2 le 1200 to 1300 so to a large extent
The Morula Parents Teacher Association has shared that they are overwhelmed by the number of parents who apply for their children to be enrolled in their school.
Waiting list ya bana ba ba eletsang go tsena mo Morula intsi mo ile gore na le waiting list ye le gore re kopa gore rokelediwe di class rokelediwe di palo tsa bana ka go ra tlhaloganya gore gona le selo se neng se beiwe mme anong bokete jo bontsi bo emetse gore batsadi bana ba bone ba tle go amogela ka kwana.
Speakers at the orientation urged the parents-teacher relationship to help in building their children's characters and keep them away from negative influences such as drugs.
Bana ba ba sa tsalwang ba peka yaanong bagolo re kopa gore a re emeng ka dinao bana ba re ba bokelleng bana ba re ba ageleleng gone go simologa hela mo Morula Primary ra agelle bana ba e re ga ba ya go tsena go bo Bonington be ba itse gore rona mo Morula Primary ra re no to drugs.
Ms. Mokheti expressed the hope that the new school will bring in the educational space in her area. Solofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
You're watching BTV News and thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, the school head for the newly opened Marula Mansi Primary School in Gaborone's Phase 4, Ms. Mamsi Utwanang, has shared that they have struggled to supply uniform to all their incoming students, which created a challenge for parents as the school is its sole seller. However, Ms. Utwanang emphasized in an interview with Botswana Television today as the school opened for the first time of the school year that it is an issue that is being addressed. Solofelo Tombale has the details.
As schools commence their academic year, the necessity of school uniforms becomes apparent, fostering a positive and inclusive atmosphere within the education institutions. Uniforms create a sense of unity and equality among students, regardless of the socio-economic status. Students accepted at Marula Mansi Primary, like those attending all government schools, started their schooling this morning but many lack the uniforms required by the school.
The supplier basically could have maybe engaged in mass production of the uniforms to cater for all the kids. That way they would have averted this problem, but I think it's something that can be overcome. Because yesterday they did get us to measure our kids for the uniforms. We were with one of the tailors, so they did measure our kids and they assured us that they will sort it out as soon as possible. So we hope they will come through with their word.
Anticipated for next week is the full distribution of school uniforms, aiming for comprehensive coverage among students.
We are rounding up all our tailors. Currently, as we are speaking, the secretary has gone out to round them up. So we have been talking between me, the secretary, and the chairperson that we need to tell, we are deciding to tell them to come tomorrow so that we round up all the tailors, we collect whatever we have so that tomorrow we start distributing. And we are promising them that by the end of the week, all the people, their kids will be having uniform.
Despite the shortage of school uniforms, parents expressed joy regarding the establishment of the new school, appreciating government's commitment to its construction.
For now, I feel it's okay. Maybe it's because I've got a big belief more principling. I know her from somewhere, from Mopani. So I think I do trust them a lot.
No, the experience has been great and we got a warm reception. It being a new school, new experiences, new people that we're meeting, we've been getting a very warm reception from the teachers of the school. That's great. I commend that a lot.
Ms. Utlanang remains confident, assuring a swift resolution to all concerns. She commends support from local authorities and parents, highlighting the cooperative effort to overcome challenges. Solofelo Tombali, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now, this morning, as most schools opened, some parents were still trying to source school uniforms for their children. The managing director of White City Discount, Ms. Osi Pandoa, encouraged parents to plan ahead to purchase school uniforms for their children to avoid last-minute rush. Kumiso Mapanyani.
With the local school uniform manufacturers now granted the opportunity to supply the local market, they diligently work to ensure timely availability of school uniforms. The current challenge is that some parents tend to appear at the last minute, exerting significant pressure on the manufacturers.
What killed us this year is that the results and admission did very late, about 22, and people were already going home. And so maybe after 2 weeks after New Year, then to meet the demand. So this is a seasonal business. So we tell them back because but frustration what it called Diabula, Banama uniform, but a Hana last minute, they expect our not deliver immediately. But the Balabala whenever late after. There are some parents who plan very well, but before buy a Christmas thing, buy a Baraka uniform or a buy buyer, and it becomes very easy how we do later. Otherwise, we are trying to cope.
Some parents who came to buy uniforms expressed their concerns about the delay in obtaining uniforms. Parents have been urged to proactively purchase school uniforms well in time to avoid last-minute rush.
Well, that is the news this hour. Do stay with us and Tebogang Sebetlela on standby to take you through the world of sport.
Thank you very much, Ulibile Samuka. Now in context, the sports news follows with me, Tebogang Sebetlela. Starting with a look at the 2024 Dakar Rally, Ross Branch finished stage 4 in 4th position. The hero motorsport rider completed the 631-kilometer stage this morning from Al Samia to Al Hofov in 2 hours and 55 minutes. The stage was won by Josie Florimo of Chile ahead of Ricky Brabec of USA and Kevin Benavides of Argentina. Ross Branch has now dropped to second position in the general overall standings behind Florimo with 7 stages remaining. And now the national senior men team, the Zebras, have played to a 1-1 draw against Mozambique side yesterday in a friendly match played at FNB Stadium in South Africa. Kabelo Sakanya's penalty opened the scoreboard in the first half of the game before Mozambique equalized in the 10 minutes of the match. Botswana Table Tennis Association is preparing for a hectic year where they will be hosting 2 big international junior championships. PTTA PRO revealed that they have begun the countdown to hosting the Africa Youth Championship and the Commonwealth Games later this year.
Botswana Table Tennis Association will start the 2024 program with Phoenix Assurance Year Opener at the end of January as they build to host the Junior International Games.
This year an academy here from Komuding as early as 5 years old, because we are trying to shift our focus now to the grassroots level. We believe we are going to bring more medal basket going forward. We hosted 2 major events the focus on the junior team. In 10 years, who is currently doing very well. International Region 5, he is ranking position 2. Position 1 in Region 5 in this coming season. Through the engagement there, through the engagement there community, we can go far.
Botswana will use several local tournaments and the league to better prepare for the challenge of organizing an international tournament in July when they host Africa Youth and the Commonwealth Youth Championships.
We hosted the Botswana International Open, Phoenix Assurance, ka December. For us to engage our performance. When we come host the Africa Youth Championships, the Commonwealth Championships, we introduced the Santa Court, Steg Global is our technical sponsor. So the engages this year they were hosting these 2 major tournaments.
Botswana Table Tennis Association, who have been working very closely with Phoenix Assurance and Steg Global companies, will continue that drive to establish new partnerships to develop the game of table tennis in the country. Katlaho Kakwele, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
That's all we had for you this hour. Until we meet again later in the day. Thank you for staying with us and good afternoon.
The L'Oreal Foundation is awarding and celebrating women in science for the last 25 years. The reason for it, women scientists were made invisible for as long as science exists. Their discoveries and contributions were hindered, silenced, even stolen. And to change this, it's not just about an issue of equality or more equal societies. It is about better science for all.
I do research that is mostly focused on food safety measures. The aim is to develop adsorbents or materials that can be able to remove toxins from food, preferably maize and sorghum right now, because these are the staple food sources in our country and also in Africa, but they are very much susceptible to fungal infestation and mycotoxin contamination. So my study focuses on finding sustainable measures to remove these toxins. This award recognizes and awards young talents in Africa for their scientific work, and it is an award that is going to help me take my research forward, because it is funding which is going to support my research. This is the money that I'm going to be using to buy reagents, be able to access some instruments from outside, be able to pay for them and advance my research, because right now we have a problem with funding. I am currently self-sponsored, and so you can imagine how difficult it is to support my tuition fees and also to buy some stuff